This video is to give you a quick, high-level overview of the Full Circle TMS Compliance Management System. Let's face it, all you want to do is run a transportation company. Yet, as we develop software, we found transportation companies like yours were constantly frustrated with recording and managing all the different compliance regulations thrust upon them. Also, over time, compliance regulations get modified or added, which makes it difficult to not only find technology to reduce the burden of maintaining compliance, but also prevent an out-of-compliance situation during the daily operation of your business. So how can our new integrated TMS help? In a nutshell, our compliance management subsystem will record and manage your compliance, insurance, broker bond, association memberships, and training for yourselves, your customers, your trucks, drivers, trailers, carriers, users, and much, much more. To be more specific, it will do the following. It will manage date-sensitive compliance requirements against your business and your resources like your users and customers, and your assets like your trucks, drivers, carriers, etc. It will provide a central recording and management system for your compliance requirements that is fully integrated into the TMS. This also includes the ability to store and retrieve scanned documents with each compliance. It will provide expiration controls and warnings so that you can remain proactive when your compliances are due for renewal. You can selectively share some of this compliance information with your trusted trading partners. For example, you may share your FMCSA DOT number or broker bond information. It is integrated into the TMS dispatch process so that you can actually prevent compliance violations. Finally, it has been designed to be very flexible, so you can easily add and modify any of the compliance types as regulations or needs change. First, let's define the 5 different categories of compliance. General compliance refers to things like business authorities, regulatory requirements, and special designations. Typically, this is any legislated business requirement, and it often comes with a registration number and an expiry date. For example, FMCSA DOT number or hazardous material hauling authorities. Insurance can be business, individual, or asset-based insurance. For example, liability insurance for your business or vehicles. Brokerage is specific to companies who broker freight and can store their brokerage bonds and broker registration numbers. Associations can be any key industry association, such as the Expedite Association of North America, TINA, or Transportation Intermediaries Association, TIA. Training is any kind of training course you want to record and manage. For example, driver safe training or employee software training. We have found that most compliances fall into one of these 5 categories. However, if you have a different category of compliance, it will be fairly easy to add it to our system. Second, let's discuss how these compliances can be applied to your business and the entities within your business. They can be associated directly to your own business. This would include your own regulatory compliance information, your insurance information, your brokerage information, and any trade associations you belong to. They can be associated to your partner carriers, so you can ensure your partner carriers are staying within your compliance standards. They can be associated to your employees, the users of the system, to keep track of any training they took. They can be associated to your drivers or fleet owners to record their regulatory requirements, insurance, or training. They can be associated to your trucks, trailers, or other assets to record regulatory requirements or insurance. They can be associated to your customers to record regulatory requirements like cross-border and free and secure trade or Transportation Safety Administration. Again, the system we designed is very flexible so that we can create compliances for any of these entities and more. Before we show you the actual screens, here are the steps involved in setting up your compliances. Step 1, pick the compliances you want. We will have many compliance types already in the system. If the compliance you need is not in the system, please contact us and we will create it for you. Then you simply need to pick it from the list. The compliance will be grouped by one of the 5 registration types and then by the entity that it applies to. Step 2, define the rules for the selected registration. This will include what do you want to do if the compliance has expired and the entity is to be used on a trip. For example, if a driver's insurance has lapsed and they are being assigned to a trip, do you want to ignore it, warn the dispatcher, or prevent the driver from being dispatched on the trip? If you want the advanced notification about the compliance expiring, you can set 3 different reminder dates and have reminders sent to a user email, a generic email, or both. If you want to share the compliance data with your trusted trading partners, for example, you may want to share your DOT number or your brokerage information with your trading partners. Step 3. Set up the compliance for each of your entities. For each entity, you can define the start and expiry date, any compliance reference number. You can upload images of documents and any other specific data about that compliance. For example, for each of your drivers, you may store their driver's license start date, expiry date, driver's license number, and images of their driver's license. Now let's take you through the process online. Setting up your compliance list is done from the System tab and then the Compliance menu item. First, select the compliance types you want to use in your company. When you first go into the screen, it will show the existing compliances you have selected. The grid will show the compliance name, what entity it applies to, which of the 5 types of compliance, insurance, brokerage, association, or training it is, if the compliance is unique to a country and/or state within that country, and whether you share the information with your trusted partner. To pick a new compliance, change the selection criteria at the top to "We use No." This will list all the compliances that you currently do not use. Let's say you wanted to keep track of the FMCSA DOT number for all of your preferred partner carriers. From the list, we could filter by carrier and then find the FMCSA DOT number. We can see that this particular item is a compliance necessary to do business in the USA. We select that row. The new screen that opens up has 2 parts. The right part is a summary of the compliance with a detailed description about the compliance. The left is where you must set some rules about how the compliance is to be managed. First, if we are dispatching to a carrier, the system wants to know what to do if the carrier we choose has an expired DOT number. You have the option of having the system ignore it, warn the dispatcher, or prevent the carrier from being used on the dispatch. Second, you can optionally be notified up to 3 advanced times about the carrier going out of compliance. In this case, let's set the first warning to 60 days prior to expiry, the second warning to 20 days prior to expiry, and the third warning to 5 days prior to expiry. Then we can identify a user who will get the email and/or enter a group email address. When the warning days occur, the system will send an email to those people to warn them about the compliance expiry coming due. Third, you can identify if you want to share this compliance information with your trusted partners. In this example, it does not make sense. However, there may be some situations where you would want to share compliance information with your trusted network partners. Fourth, you can enter any comments you want about the compliance. When you're done setting the compliance rules, you save the record. As you can see, the registration type is now added to our list of what our company uses. Now that we have some compliance types selected, we can go into the various entities and begin to maintain the actual compliance records. Remember, the entities could be you, your partner carriers, your customers, your drivers, your trucks, etc. In this example, we will work on compliance for you as a subscriber to the TMS. However, the fundamentals will be similar to any other entity in the system. To record and manage your compliances, go to the System tab and select Our Corporate Compliance. This screen will be divided into the 5 compliance types with the details hidden. You can easily hide and show the compliance details. Let's say you wanted to add your CTPAT, which stands for Custom Trade Partnership Against Terrorism certification. You could do the following. Go to the Compliance section. Click on Add New Compliance. Find CTPAT in the list of compliance types that you use and click on it. Now you would enter the effective date when you received your certification, when it will expire, any reference number, and you could upload a copy of your certification. When you save it, the system now has this information recorded. As another example, let's say you wanted to manage your commercial general liability insurance. You would do the following. Go to the Insurance section. Click on Add New Insurance. Find Liability Insurance in the list of insurance types and click on it. Now you would enter the effective date when you received your insurance, when it will expire, any policy number, optionally the insurance amount, currency, and deductible, optionally the insurance carrier, agency, agent, and agent email. if you are named on the policy. Upload any policy documents. Save the record. These are just a few examples of how you could store compliance data about your company. And all of this is extended to other entities like customers, drivers, fleet owners, partner carriers, trucks, trailers, etc. The process of maintaining any kind of compliance is exactly the same. To summarize, the TMS compliance system will do the following. It will manage date-sensitive compliance requirements against your business and your resources and your assets. It will provide essential recording and management system of your compliance requirements that is fully integrated into the TMS. This also includes the ability to store and retrieve scanned documents with each compliance. It will provide expiration controls and warnings so that you can remain proactive when your compliances are due for renewal. You can selectively share some of this information with your trusted trading partners. For example, you may want to share your DOT number or broker bond information. It is integrated into the TMS dispatch process so that you can actually prevent compliance violations. Finally, it has been designed to be very flexible so that we can easily add or modify any of the compliance types as regulations or needs change. Thanks for taking the time to see this high-level overview of the TMS compliance and registration system. We are excited about the possibilities this very flexible and comprehensive system will have to help our subscribers manage the complex, constantly evolving transportation compliance requirements.